In the last 15 years, the superhero movie genre has literally become one of the biggest box office draws ever. It wasn't always like that though, and I'd say that the modern superhero genre started 45 years ago with the release of the Richard Donner-directed 1978 movie, Superman, which most would argue was the first successful big-budget superhero movie. Since then, superhero movies in general have gone up and down in quality, and by 2008 Marvel redefined the genre with the release of Iron Man, starting the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In the 1990s, as a little kid, I was never a big comic book reader, so most of my interest for superheroes came from the movies and Saturday morning cartoon shows. I've been watching superhero films for almost my whole life, so I figured I'd name my top 10. So without any further ado, here's my top 10 superhero movies. Number 10. Avengers Endgame. This movie was the result and crescendo of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sure, the MCU still goes on today, but I think it is obvious that the top brass at Disney has really struggled since the success of Endgame. This movie works in every way that it shouldn't, and really delivers what people love about MCU movies. Number 9. X-Men Days of Future Past. This 2014 film is not only a really solid superhero movie, but it is also a really good time travel movie. Seeing Wolverine have to travel back to the Nixon era of the 1970s to save the future is just really creative and fun. It also has an amazing and fun scene featuring Quicksilver that is still talked about as one of the best scenes ever in any superhero film. Number 8. Captain America: The First Avenger. I know most people prefer Captain America: Winter Soldier, but I was just really surprised at how good the origin story of Steve Rogers was. Marvel Studios took a chance on Chris Evans, who had already appeared in a superhero franchise, and he turned out to be perfect as Captain America. This movie was also directed by Joe Johnston, who had directed another World War II-era movie for Disney in 1991, The Rocketeer, which is a very underrated film. Number 7. Kick-Ass. This 2010 movie may get written off by a lot of people as just a goofy, over-the-top violent comedy, but I think it is even better than people give it credit. This movie has a very unique performance from Nicolas Cage, and it introduced us to the fantastic actress, Chloe Grace Moretz. It also made the career of director Matthew Vaughn, who has continued to deliver fun, violent chaos with the XMen film franchise. Number 6. The Avengers. This 2012 superhero team-up movie was when most people first realized that the MCU wasn't just a fluke with a few box office hit movies. The story and chemistry between the characters is really good. Marvel Studios really took the first 4 years of the MCU to build up to this movie, and they hit a huge home run. Number 5. SpiderMan Homecoming. I know people love the 2004 film Spider-Man 2, and I agree that it's a really good movie, but I never really felt like I understood the character of Spider-Man until it was wonderfully played by Tom Holland. His innocence and wide-eyed wonder just worked for me, because it was the first actor younger than me to play the character and pretty much the first one I bought as a teenager. Michael Keaton also gives a great performance as the antagonist villain. Number 4. Guardians of the Galaxy. Leading up to this movie, I must have seen the trailer over 10 times because of how much it was being promoted. I was really excited for it and was afraid it might let me down. Fortunately, that wasn't the case, and the movie just blew me away, becoming my favorite film in the entire MCU. The movie starred an unproven leading man named Chris Pratt, who at the time was just known as a pudgy sitcom actor. This was a star-making performance from Pratt. The movie overall is that much more impressive when you realize that the Guardians of the Galaxy characters were obscure and not mainstream at all. Number 3. Batman. This 1989 movie starred Michael Keaton and was directed by Tim Burton. This film came out the year after I was born, and I wore out the VHS tape copy I had by watching it on repeat as a little kid. Batman is easily my favorite superhero, and I owe a lot of that to my obsession with this movie. From the 1940s retro style to the dark tone aesthetic, everything about this movie just works for me. Number 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This film, released in 1990, was the first live-action Ninja Turtles movie, and I think it unfairly gets written off as just goofy and not serious. Honestly though, under the surface of the comedic side of the film is a really good dark film with interesting characters. The movie does a perfect job of mixing the dark violent tone of the original comic books with the goofy over-the-top comedy of the 1987 Saturday morning cartoon. Number 1. The Dark Knight. I know it may be cliché at this point, but nothing could stop me from putting this at number 1. It is the only movie I ever saw more than 3 times in a movie theater, which is a lot for someone like me who rarely sees any movie more than once in a theater. This 2008 film crosses a lot of genres and just works. Sure, it is pretty long and maybe stretches its narrative, but I honestly don't care, and just love this movie. Ultimately, what makes this film work and rise above the rest is the amazing performance from Heath Ledger as the Joker, which I highly doubt will ever be topped. Well, that was my top 10 superhero movies. Do you agree with my list? Let me know your own top superhero movies in the comments. If you would like to see more videos like this, such as all my movie reviews and other film-related content, go ahead and subscribe to the Dave Likes Movies channel right here. Thanks for watching.